Well, we're back for part 3 of our epic, ordinary Mormon families, extraordinary Mormon transition. We're here with Lisa, Paul, and Kyle. This is part 3 of this epic journey. We've been through Paul's faith crisis, then Lisa coming aboard. We've talked about how they didn't tell their daughter quite in the way they wished and how that caused a lot of pain. We've talked about Kyle coming out as gay and how difficult it was for him to deal with his parents struggling in their transition. We've also talked about the returned missionary coming home and how they had a bit of a better conversation there. So we're coming into sort of mid to late 2015 in the story. And Paul, I think you have a story for us to kick off this episode.
Well, after we had settled things with Kyle, we had already planned to go and visit our foreign exchange student in Germany because she was getting married. And it was a beautiful wedding ceremony. And it was so open to everybody in the family. It was a beautiful experience. But after everything was done, and we won't talk about the details too much, but we did sit down and explain to the family, who thought we were very orthodox Mormons, because that's who we were when our foreign exchange student had lived with us. Darling young lady. The last day there, though, we went on a tour of the city of Worms, W-O-R-M-S. And during there, I was up with Wilfried, and Lisa was with Ingrid, the mom. And Ingrid was explaining to Lisa how many, many years ago, they had what's called the Diet at Worms, which was they put Martin Luther on trial by the Holy Roman Empire to see if he would be deemed what was called vogelfrei, which means anybody could kill him on sight for any reason because he was an enemy of the state. He was already excommunicated by the Catholic Church, and now the Holy Roman Empire was having at him. And they debated this for several days, and Ingrid was explaining to Lisa how Martin Luther, as we're walking to a statue about him, had found out certain things about the Catholic Church which he just couldn't agree with. Indulgences, the fact that the church stood between you and God and that you should be able to go directly to God, forbidding to marry for the preachers, for the priests, and many other things she was saying. And so it was very difficult for him because he had found out these things and his integrity wouldn't allow him just to leave it alone. At this point, Lisa just broke into tears.
I just stood at that statue and bawled.
The connections of that story to our summer and all the emotions that we were experiencing just seemed to come right at the head. And after living with Lisa there, being very emotional, I went up and I read the statue that stands in the city of Worms. And it says, "Hier ich stehe, ich kann nicht anders, Gott hilfe mir. Amen." Translated, that says, "Here I stand. I can't do anything else. God help me. Amen." And to a big extent, that kind of capsulizes our journey. That's where we were. That's where we've transitioned to a healthy place in that year, but during all the emotion of last summer, we were standing there. We couldn't do anything other. We couldn't go back in. We couldn't take the blue pill. And we say, God help us, whatever that means. Universe help us. Amen. And that just kind of capsulized, and I think it's a beautiful story to just kind of, maybe you can relate to that.
It's beautiful. I can relate to that. And I think thousands and tens of thousands of listeners can as well. And I think that's a great way to kick off this part 3. I think our focus, let's have our focus turn to, there's so many people out there struggling with the transition. They don't know how to deal with it. There's so many people with part believing, part non-believing families. People are feeling alone. They don't know how to deal with the extended family, with the ward, with the community, with the leadership, with each other. Let's talk about your journey for the next 40 minutes or so of stories and experiences you've had that could help others navigate their own transitions.
The first thing that happened when we came back from Germany is we went to Sunstone, and we were really just seeking community of people that were like-minded. we
What's
didn't
Sunstone?
know. Sunstone is kind of like Mormon Woodstock, where
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, where very orthodox and very progressive and former Mormons can talk about different things that have happened in Mormon culture and cultural history. Lindsay does a fantastic job, and Lindsay's podcast on Year in Polygamy was very, very important to us. It was excellent. But the most important thing is we didn't know very many people, so it was kind of hard, but Lisa met a few people that...
We're on my Facebook group. I met someone that I had known from that Facebook group, and she connected me with Mama Dragons, which I didn't even know what that was.
What's Mama Dragons?
I didn't even know. So it is a group of moms running strong that all their goal is to protect the kids,
They're
to love
LGBT.
and protect their LGBT kids and any LGBT kid.
And we have a Mormon Stories episode with the Mama Dragons. It's really good. The women are fabulous. And there's over 1,000 of them now.
Yep.
It's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot of mamas.
Yep.
It was very helpful to get Lisa connected to that community, and I benefit a lot from her, vicariously through her.
Okay, so that was important for you to get support to help you support
Right?
Yep.
Kyle better.
Yep.
Okay.
So about this same time, a woman that was in this Facebook group found a need. Do you want to explain that, honey, for older?
So the Facebook group that we were in, there were lots of young girls in it.
And we still are in it.
And it's great. And it's a great group. It's really big, probably, 400 people in it. And it's great. But a lady in there saw a need for people that were older, because us that are older have had different life experiences and different needs, and she formed a separate group that was just for ladies over 40 and more to socialize and
Did we
have
talk about the
community.
name of that group, or is that not to be mentioned?
It's good.
What's the name of the group?
WACA,
What does that stand for?
women of a certain age.
Okay.
Women
You
of
can
a
find that
certain
on Mormon
age.
Spectrum, right?
I
It's
think she's
listed on
working
Mormon
on it. Yep.
Spectrum. Okay.
Yep.
All right. How does someone find Waka? Do they have to be invited?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But they're out there, and Mormon Spectrum will be
Publicized.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So Waka, women of a certain age. Do
Just
we talk
there
about
to
them? Do we name the woman?
socialize.
Do we name the woman who did this, or
Kim.
is she-
She's
Wait,
amazing.
Kim?
We have her
Kim
permission.
Turner. Kim Turner is amazing. And
She
she's
is.
the Mama Waka.
She is. She is.
What's interesting, and Kim has made this comment about, after since transitioning away from the church and moving on with her life, she still worries about giving service. And I'm just like, shake my head, because that woman has given so much real, meaningful services to people that are hurting. It's just incredible what she and her husband have done. They're just wonderful, giving
Terry Turner.
people.
Kim and Terry Turner. So tell us about Waka, what it meant to you.
So it was just a place to socialize and not feel like I was a crazy woman, because I was surrounded by people who thought differently than I did. And it was amazing to go and be with ladies who had been Relief Society presidents, who had been Young Women's presidents. Their husbands had been stake presidents. They had the same life experiences, and they had older kids, and they were dealing with older kid problems. And we just support each other and love each other. We socialize. We went on a retreat in April, went and stayed up in a cabin. It was a wonderful time. We're going again this weekend, and it's doubled in size, the amount of ladies that are coming. Just hurting ladies that need community.
Yeah.
And it's another thing that happened the fall, in addition to joining WACA, which is not just these meetups, but they share so much on Facebook to support each other in life's journeys. But Kyle came to a point where he was ready to come out publicly, which was a big event for us, because he gave us, and I'll let Kyle speak for himself in a moment, but he gave us a week to tell our family. And the family members that needed to know, we told everybody about Kyle, but we also took advantage of that opportunity to tell them that we had transitioned away from the church. Those that didn't know, there are some that are so busy with their lives that we didn't weigh them down with this, but it was an opportunity to talk about those things. And several of our family members that are really close to us, they really hurt them. And we are really sorry for the pain that caused them. But
what
we
hurt-
aren't the ones that did that.
But what hurt them?
Not Kyle coming out. They love Kyle. They know who Kyle is. They support Kyle. But to hear especially that Lisa was no longer in the church was devastating for them.
So this is Lisa, family members, your family members, extended family?
And Paul's too,
Right.
and Paul's siblings. And the only way that they knew that was by us saying, we totally support him 100%. We hope he gets married. We hope we have grandkids from this child. We are 100% in support of him. And then it was like, whoa.
You didn't talk about your own faith at all.
We did at that point.
Then they were like, oh.
So the main
Aren't
thing you
you
did was you
going-
tell them you're supporting Kyle.
Yes, and then it's,
That
aren't you
was the trigger.
going to try and get some help for him? Or I kind of thought that was like a condition that could be fixed.
Me too.
And during this time, Kyle had been going to therapy, and he was in a really healthy place.
So
At the counseling center?
No, to
Mary. I traded.
Yeah, and
your mic,
I
your
don't
mic.
work. Oh, only
traded-
to Mary. Yeah,
I traded Mary.
we
Hey,
trade psychiatrists in this family.
Okay.
therapist.
Pass them around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we pass them around.
So
but yeah.
during this time, it was our opportunity to speak with our family members about why. Most did not want to know at all. The few that asked just a few questions, and we're really close with these family members. They're friends as well as relatives, and some of them are pretty high church callings. They really didn't want to know, John. They just were devastated. It was painful. It created an awkward environment for about 6 months. But in that environment, it was hard for us as well because, once again, we want to be understood. I want to be understood.
What approach
we
did
were
you
better.
take to tell them?
You want to tell?
An email? Was it a letter?
it was-
called them. We called.
It was through phone calls.
Phone calls to the ones that we wanted to know.
And I met up
Before-
personally with some too.
Yeah, before this came publicly to everybody.
And did you take
This
the
video.
daughter? Did you take the approach you took with your daughter or with your
The
RM
daughter, we actually drove to
No,
California.
did we? What
like the
approach?
son?
approach.
Did you take when you came out to these other extended family members?
Oh,
Is it the
All about love.
possible?
Yes.
All about love, or was it the?
no, we didn't tell anything.
Okay, you did.
All about love.
Okay.
All about love. Reassured them that we love them, which is totally true. We want to continue relationships with them. If ever they feel a need to want to know, we would be happy to tell them. But we validated their pain and the loss and the remorse that they're going to, and the anger that they're going to go through, because we're feeling it too. But at the end of the day, we want to have a relationship. And this is really hard for us, and we probably talk about it in lessons learned, but over that time, boundaries have been created between us and our loved ones. And it bothers me sometimes because I want to be understood. And I get mad because things are said and I want to correct things or to interject. And then I have to remind myself, no, these boundaries are healthy. I need to change my brain instead of fighting against the boundaries to celebrate them, because it makes us have an ongoing, positive, wonderful relationship with family members we love. And
It's different
it's
relationships.
different, and it'll never be the same.
So good fences make good neighbors.
Yes.
And
So
it takes
just-
both sides to do that.
Make your religion or your non-religion private so that the rest of your relationship can still survive
Yep.
somewhat.
And we did tell them, we know that the church is a huge part of your life. We know that. And so when we're together, and Lisa instigated monthly family meals, parties way before they knew anything about this, but because to say family's important to us. It's still important
Is
to
that
us.
extended family or immediate family?
Well, not just our family, but my
Like-
siblings and all of
Yeah, my family's around the whole country now, so it wasn't, my family's through telephone pretty much. But
So with anyone around Utah that you could, Lisa, you were planning activities to try and keep
Yep.
the
Yep.
connections going.
Because I realized that we were going to go through some tough times, and I realized too that this might be all we get is here. Some of my family lives for the future, lives for what's going to happen in heaven, but this might be all we get, so we need to stay close as a family.
And so we were little Frankians is saying, please speak about your callings. Speak about what you're doing in your church callings. The only things that we will not appreciate is anything negative about people who think differently about the church or anything that's anti-LGBT. We will discuss that and will be awkward. Besides
Those are
that,
boundaries you set
those
for
are
them.
boundaries we set for them.
And then you also set boundaries for yourself with them.
Yes.
By what? What was that? What did you tell them?
Well, we hope to someday be able to tell them of the non-threatening things we're doing in our post-Mormon life. But until that time, we just ask them to love us, include us, accept us, and know that our hearts are coming from a right place. Please don't think that when you're saying things about the church that we're not. We try really hard not to be saying negative things on our side and inside about them or judging them for what they're doing inside the church.
Did you try to reassure them that you wouldn't mess with their faith?
Yes.
That's you're respecting their boundaries.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
We're not messing with your kids.
And we're not trying to
messing
say
with
bad
you.
things about them, and sometimes it's hard.
How did that work?
Like for the first 6 months, it was probably 3 months. It was a little awkward-ish, but
Very awkward-ish.
We're getting there, and it will never be the same.
But it's much better.
It's much, much better.
We went to a baptism of one of our nephews. Everybody gets up afterwards to do the confirmation. I'm sitting there. I see them sad that I'm sitting there. But I think, even though nothing's said, I think they also see that we are showing up.
We're
here.
distancing ourselves from the family.
Got it. Okay. Wow. Was that hard for you guys to do?
It's still hard.
What's hard about that?
It's hard because on both sides, there are things that are said that we have different views on that we'd like to talk about, such as they just got back from the handcart trek this summer. And so many of the narratives that are taught on the handcart trek, we know now are not accurate. We just need to shut up and be happy for them that they had a good time, which we've done, but it's not easy to do when you have this new knowledge. We don't want to rain on their parade. We don't want them to rain on our parade, and we've got a long ways to go, but we do love them. And we really believe love will win in the end.
And they love us.
And they love us too.
Yeah.
Do you feel like second-class citizens in the family now, where everybody's looking down on you?
You could, but we claim our authority. We don't allow that to happen. Lisa is the amazing Lisa aunt. Lisa goes over and talks to every one of the kids. I am Paul who loves the kids. I love my brother. I cheer him on, my brother-in-law, my other brother-in-law. We show up to the football games. We cheer on our kid, and it's authentic. We want to be with our family. So we show up, we're there. What is said after we leave, we don't know. But we're so confident in where we are, and I think that's a major lesson, is when you're confident of where you are with the decisions you've made, it's okay if they need to say things or process things, as long as they love you. And we do know they love you, but I'm sure this is hard for them. But if you claim your authority and be confident in the decisions you've made, which we are, it helps a lot.
How about you, Lisa? Like, I can think for myself, they may not like me, they may not like who I am, I'm this dangerous person, I'm going to stay away. I'm going to keep my distance. I'll just be estranged from that side of the family, and I'll develop relationships elsewhere.
Believe me, that's crossed my mind.
But what? Why haven't you done that?
Therapy helped a lot, and just the fact that I really do want to have a relationship with these people. It's really important to me. And it's important to be authentic. Lots of Brene Brown I've been listening to, lots of...
Get rid of shame, false guilt.
But if you're not talking to them about who you really are and what you really think, how are you being authentic?
We can still talk about our kids, how work's going, and we're even getting more to we can talk about what they're doing in church.
And are you biting your tongue a lot?
No, I just let them talk.
You are.
I
Paul's
am.
biting his tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But we still have the big event.
Okay, go for it. Is that next? What's next?
Oh,
So then we were talking about why we told them. So in November, Kyle came out.
Yeah, so I know it's been a big, like, popular thing that a lot of people have been coming out on, like, Facebook and social media and stuff. And so one big thing that I did in high school is I made videos. And so I got the idea to have a big group of my friends and I make a video together and just kind of showcase, like, unity, and not just unity, but, like, strength in our individualism. So so we made that video and then we released it on my birthday last year. And so
When was that?
November 16th, 2015? Yeah, 15.
It's a great video, by the way. We'll post a link to it. It's really fun.
that'd be
Well done.
excellent.
Now that's just a week or two after the church came out with its policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Was that what motivated you to make the video, or had you already?
Well, interestingly enough, I got interviewed by a TV station, and they asked me, like, what I thought about the policy change as I was, like, I was on my way to make the video, and I was like, wait, I can't do this right now because I'm making a video, and but that has nothing to do with anything, but it didn't really. I'd always planned on releasing it on my birthday,
Okay,
and the policy
okay.
just kind of happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And Kyle said before he didn't expect that the church would ever
Yeah, the
accept.
policy change. I've talked to a lot of LGBTQ kids who are around my age that the policy change didn't really shock me at all.
Why not?
I didn't ever expect to be able to be gay and have a life in the church, like, because I had always, like, I had dated girls in high school. Like, I was trying to find my ticket to the celestial kingdom with one of them. And so it was just like, that was always the plan I was going to take. It was never like, I'll have a husband.
You never had hope.
Yeah, I never had any hope. So there's no hope to be dashed. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you came out with that video.
Yeah.
Was that the big thing?
Yeah. And so that was huge because it was at that time
Yeah.
for our family that the church is saying they're awful apostates and we're saying, no, he's a great kid.
It's very difficult to hear family members, in terms of biting your tongue, say that policy change is all about love. It's like looking at a white wall and seeing a black wall, and they keep saying it's white, it's black, it's white. It is so clear to us that it's nothing kind. There's nothing kind about it. It's so marginalizing and othering, and it's not of a God that professes love. It's so clear to us, and to hear people we love say that, it forces us to remember a time we were there, and it's sad to do that, but we've got to do that because we want to continue to love these people and help where we can.
All right.
So probably the last event is the wedding.
So you have your return missionary son falls in love.
So
And this is like every transitioning Mormon's nightmare, that they're going to be outside the walls of the temple when their own child gets married. So
Yeah.
tell us about
Yeah.
that.
We hear about that from a lot of people.
So he was amazing about it. He knew from the beginning that we wouldn't be there. He met this girl at BYU. They've been going to the open house of the Provo City Center Castle and loved it, thought it was beautiful. And we knew that that's, if it came to marriage, which it was kind of fast, but that's what happens at BYU, we knew that that would be where they got married. And we had a lovely conversation with him before saying, we won't be in there with you, but know that your parents love you no matter what. We would be there.
It was really important to have that frank conversation, although we didn't delve into doctrinal issues at all. The whole point was to say, Riker, do not allow anybody to think less of us or less of our relationship with you and our love for you because we're not there. We would love to be there and we will support you in other ways, but we just can't be there. And he got it really fast, which helps us, and rather than some other situations that other people deal with. Riker got that, and he said, Dad, Mom, I promise I will not let anyone speak negatively about you in there, which meant the world to us. And that helped us frame and it was started by the way we handled him when he came from his mission. That love had continued. That helped it be so much better for us. We also didn't want to be in there. We know what happens in there. So the night before it happened, we actually had a Waka group, and they were very helpful in getting us ready for this. And we knew it was going to be hard.
What does that mean, a Waka group, Lisa?
Well, they had invited a guest speaker to come and invited the husbands to come too. So we went and heard this guest speaker, and all were together. It was really fun.
It was really cool because the next day
knew that you were on the eve of the.
Yeah.
And we told them that. We didn't tell them much
had
more than that.
actually made an event of the reception, and if anyone could, to come down and support us and be there for us.
Now, I want to validate that it is barbaric. There's no reason to separate families on that most important days. You could separate the sealing from the marriage very easily, and it wouldn't hurt anything to do that. And the way we handled that with Rikers, with our son's permission, is that he agreed to do a ring ceremony at the dinner afterwards and to publicly make other vows to each other in our presence there.
The bishop didn't object to that?
We didn't have the bishop involved.
He was not involved at all.
Bishop wasn't involved in
No, we claimed our authority as parents of him, and we were in charge of the wedding dinner afterwards. We had a beautiful program. Our family members performed. Kyle sang a song. I love to hear Kyle talk about it.
Kyle?
I sang "Can't Help Falling in Love." Oh, I Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley.
Nice.
Which is my
Beautiful.
parents' song. Yeah.
And you guys didn't, I imagined when I was on my way out of the church, but my kids were still in, I imagined trying to pressure them to not get married in the temple and to wait a year,
I really.
or to separate the civil ceremony from the religious one. And you guys didn't do that. Lisa, why?
We had raised him this way. This is the path that he was on. This is his sweet little bride. This was her dream. This is who they are. There's no way we would have asked them to do that for us. It lasted 45 minutes.
But isn't that the mother of the groom's worst nightmare, to not be able to attend her own son's wedding?
We had
How'd
another.
you swallow that?
We had another Waka lady do this a couple of weeks before, and she had done it with her husband. Marriage that was ending because of the church, and she had done it with her husband on the inside and her on the outside alone. So actually, I felt really blessed to be where
Because you
we
had
were
seen
at.
somebody else have it worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think also it helped is we didn't put much value in what happened inside that building. We put our value in the love we have for that boy and the love he was expressing for his sweetheart. And he did that in front of us as well afterwards, and that's where we put our value. So we chose to put on a happy face, and it wasn't hard. We were happy all day long. We didn't let other people get us down. Our family members, we validate their pain. They had a hard time with us not being in the temple. Fathers and other family members would come out and we would say, "We are so sorry this is causing you pain, but we're really good. And this is not about us today, it's about them. Let's make it about them. We are happy. We are great." And we really were, John. We weren't faking it. We were happy.
How about you, Kyle?
That, I think, was the pin. I had gone through a rough patch, like a little bit of fear after I came out to go back to the family. It kind of took a while for me to go back. And that event was so amazing because we had Riker during his talk. He endorsed my parents, which was amazing. It was just so cool to hear him say, I love them and they are my parents, instead of what he could have gone the exact opposite way when he said he's just said I just love you guys, and it was just incredible for him to hear.
I will defend them till the end of the day, and I don't want to hear anything negative about them.
Wow.
In the middle of his speech, which we all knew what he was talking about.
The dinner after.
The dinner
the
after,
dinner with
yeah.
everybody there.
Yeah, we all knew what he was talking about. So
Wow.
it was yeah. And,
Powerful.
That's powerful.
And then, should I tell?
Yeah.
And
Tell about you.
so I had one of my grandfathers on one side was not so happy about me coming out. He's sent me sorry, I keep forgetting. He just wasn't. He's older. He was part of the older generation. He thinks that this is something that could be fixed, and it's just my cross to bear. And I had 3 different people go up to him and say, like, don't you dare talk to Kyle. Like, just give him his space. And it was, like, my sister, which was incredible for me because I love her so much. And then it was one of my aunts.
So your believing sister is coming to your defense, telling Grandpa not to say anything mean to you for being gay.
Yep.
And he wouldn't mean it mean, but...
Yeah, it was incredible. I, like, lost it when I found out. And then I had and then another aunt and my grandma all came to my defense.
Tell about your aunt hugging you. And
So I had one of my aunts is just, she's always been, we lived really close to them when I was growing up, so I was always very close to her. And just as I was leaving, as we were packing up, she just hugged me and just said, like, nothing's changed, Kyle. We just love you so much. Please come back. And it just meant so much to me. And it was just, I don't know, that was kind of my peak that I felt like I got into a happy point with my family. And I don't really have to, like, I don't have issues anymore as far as family goes with the gay thing. But
It's kind of healing for you.
yeah, it was definitely healing. Yeah.
And Lisa, this is one of my favorite stories in the 12 years I've been doing Mormon stories. But tell us what the Waka women did for you at this difficult time where your son's getting married, and go into as much detail as you want.
So they had said, Kim had made an event of this wedding to come and support Lisa.
Lisa,
And they...
Like a Facebook event?
Yeah,
Okay.
in our group. And the day after the dinner was over...
The day of the wedding.
So we did the wedding, the dinner, then had the reception right after that. And the first people to show up at the reception are 10 of the Waka ladies. Just came, put their arms around me, gave me love, gave me support, stayed, visited, met my family. I could introduce them to people in my family. They met Kyle, just to say, these are my friends. I'm loved. These ladies love me no matter where I'm at. We took pictures. They met the bride and groom, loved on them. They were just amazing.
Really helped the bride and groom to see that.
So you kind of got love bombed by the Wakas.
It meant the world to us. That and these are accomplished women, very accomplished, intelligent, sharp, and busy women, and they gave up their time on a weekday to break away from their schedule to come to support us that day. It meant a lot to us.
What did that mean to you, Lisa?
Oh, it made it so I could think that it was a celebration. In no way at all was that a bad mood, anything down on me. It was a beautiful, beautiful day because of the love that I just felt radiating from them.
A lot of people wonder, who are these people leaving the church? And the people we've associated with through the Felices Facebook group are some of the best and brightest the church has to offer. I would be very scared if I were them, seeing the caliber of people leaving. They are amazing people, and they're not bitter and angry. And yes, they have some anger, and yes, we all do. But they are about love and about support and helping each other. And I also want to before we leave this narrative, just say our family was wonderful that day too. In a very difficult situation, we knew they were in pain. They reached out to us in love, and we reached back to them in love. And there was a lot of hugging going on that day. And it was a beautiful healing moment for us and our family, rather than us being really mad about it. And we understand those people that are. For us, it was very much a healing moment for us.
Beautiful.
That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
All right. So where are you guys now? Where's everyone now? What do you want to share to conclude? And are there any
Nice, a good plan.
lessons learned or, final thoughts you want to share?
Do you want to go first?
Oh, yeah. I am just up at Utah State, just going to college. No, I can't think
Where
of
are you with
anything.
the
With the church, I've written my letter. I am officially not on the records. I tried to get it on my account the other day, and I was denied access, and so, yeah, I'm out.
How's college going for you?
It's good. It's really good. It's stressful, but that's college. So, but it's awesome. I have
Have
a
you
great
been able
group
to
of
find a
friends.
friend group or a peer
Yeah.
group?
Yeah.
How'd you find them at a Utah school?
Well, actually, most of my friends are LDS, and that actually hasn't been. They're incredibly loving and welcoming, and they're kind of more liberal LDS, but they're all still LDS. But yeah, so I just met them through random encounters, and we kind of just got together. Yeah.
Okay. And have you started dating yet, or?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to
just
give
a
any
little bit.
details. I'm just.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
And is that nice?
Yeah, it's good. It's nice.
Do you ever wish you could have started when you were 16?
Oh, all the time. But being from rural Utah,
That wasn't gonna happen.
real scary. Yeah.
But now you're able to date a little bit and make some friends, and
Yep. Yep.
things are going okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Who's next? How are the other children?
So,
Have you ever sat down with your daughter and just said, "We're so sorry for how we handled that. We
Yeah.
mishandled it. Can we start again?" Or something to recreate that love moment you had with your returned missionary son, or not?
so it's really hard because we don't get very many opportunities to do that. And the phone is not so great.
So you don't get together very much.
No,
She's in California.
And you guys don't
no.
talk. So it's just kind of right now really estranged?
No, we will Skype and see the grandkids, and we're making lots of progress. We have tried to talk about it, but when we open up the subject,
She doesn't want
she's asked us not to talk about it.
Even if you want to apologize?
We have apologized.
Okay.
We have apologized, and if she does listen to this, I hope she didn't hear anything we said today, but that we love her, and we
So we
know we did
apologized,
wrong.
and she said thank you, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. So you're respecting that?
Yes, yes.
We're playing the long game. We're just going to love
Yep.
her to death.
Yep.
Okay. And oldest son?
He's great. He's wonderful.
You guys are close.
Yep.
And returned missionary son?
He's wonderful. And his new little bride is amazing, loves us.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She just
Even though she's a
great.
believer?
She's great. Yeah.
Yep.
And how's the family unity now?
I really believe it's as good as it can be given the circumstances. There's a part of us they don't want to see and can't see that I think would enrich their life, but yet it would hurt them. On the other hand, there's parts of them we're not seeing either that's difficult, but yet on the other hand, it's probably not a place for us right now. With that being said, if I'm looking at myself, continue to honor the boundaries and celebrate the boundaries, we'll get there. And we love them and we have a close relationship.
You're saying celebrate the boundaries because they allow the relationship
To continue.
thriving.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely. Yep.
Definitely. And it's a powerful message that's not easy.
Celebrate the boundaries. You guys get that? Celebrate the boundaries. Right. Okay. Any other lessons learned, or looking back, regrets? No regrets?
Yeah, it's interesting. We obviously regret our situation with our daughter, but that being said, I think we, with your help, and we would like to say a couple more things. In our journey, the podcast world has been very, very beneficial. John Larson's podcast was very, very helpful, very doctrinally rich. Between yours and his, we got to know a man named John Hamer.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I know this is going to probably sound terrible, but he is the first gay man we've really known. And it was through podcasts, right? And yes, we know of some, but we felt we knew John even though we did.
And John taught us a lot about how it is to be gay.
He speaks about it often, and we have such a respect for that man.
Like you call him on the phone?
Oh, just in the
Podcast.
Oh, okay.
We met him at Sunstone.
Thrones.
Yeah.
If it's on Thrones.
We met him at Sunstone this year. He could not have been kinder. He sent Kyle a text after Sunstone saying it was the highlight of Sunstone for him to meet Kyle. I can't tell you how much that meant to me. So Lindsay's Hanson Parks, Gina, we've even enjoyed Dan's and Bill Reel's podcast,
Dan
even though
Witherspoon, Gina Colvin, Bill Reel.
even though they're very nuancy, Dan and Bill Moore, at least they're honest with the facts. And even though they may live in a space that my orthodoxy, the way I see black and white, and in a way I feel like I was damaged because that's the way I saw the world, and I do now. I can't live in the world they live in, but I honor them and I respect their academic integrity.
So being out there all by ourselves in our rural Utah town, podcasts have been a huge lifesaver for us.
So thank you for podcasts.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you, John.
And
John, you provided a safe environment that we could start investigating this stuff, and we kind of went on our journey with you a little bit, not even close to what you were doing, but we felt even those early years, some of the places you were going and how much you tried to make things work. Not necessarily that was always the best answer for everybody, and you acknowledge that, but trying to make a place for people. And I always felt that you acted with the most integrity of your heart to try to help people, and we really have a lot of respect for that.
Thank you. So, Paul, are you happier now than you were 10, 20 years ago?
Yeah, that's always the question, and you ask, do I regret anything? The mission, I regret tracting, I regret street displays, but I don't regret my missionary companions or my missionary presidents, or loving the German people. Am I happier today? I am disappointed with the pain that the church has caused with relationships. I wish that wasn't there. That does not make me happy. But my relationship with the world, instead of trying to hunker down in church and to be really small and just not feeling totally bought in, as opposed to where I am now, I'm all excited to tell Lisa all the things I'm learning, and we're going on this journey together, and I am much happier now than I've ever been. And I'm at peace with our decision.
Now, Lisa, you were the Energizer Bunny TBM. Are you happier now?
definitely. I feel like my brain has been able to grow so much that I can think about things and form opinions that are my own, that I don't have to think, oh, what does the church teach about this, and then I have to think that. I can read and discover. I'm reading tons of brain books and how the brain works to figure out why my brain could think this and my other family members can't. And I just feel like I've grown and been able to do things I never would have been able to in the church.
One of the biggest blessings is if you are fortunate to make this journey together, it really brings you close together.
That was my next question. How has it impacted your relationship?
Oh, huge. We started walking because we had to leave the house because Kyle was there, and we can go on walks and we lose track of time because we're talking so much. And by this time, we've been married 30 years now. It might be getting old, but for us, it's been refreshing and new. It's like seeing the world again for the first time, doing things and experiencing things that we haven't for the first time is keeping us young.
Another thing that's enhanced our marriage is we've been able to get rid of false guilt and shame. And you would think, and there's so much shame involved with not following every rule to a T. And a lot of that is false guilt and false shame, meaning it's about stuff that's just about obedience rather than stuff that's really detrimental. We still feel like we're wonderful people, but do we like coffee now? Yeah, we really do like coffee. We also like our second Saturdays. We love our second Saturdays and spending more time together. There's just been a lot of things that enrich our lives in deciding what we want to wear and just little things that just have enhanced our life, and that we don't need to have guilt and shame. Now, if we are mean to people, we should feel guilt. that is a core tenet of what we want to move forward, is being kind to everybody, and to not be mean, and to have integrity as well as what we say. We think those are things that are really important to us moving forward.
All right, so to conclude, well, the way we always conclude, this has been a fabulous story. Thank you so much for sharing. I've really loved it, really grateful. The way we always end Mormon stories is with people sharing kind of what they believe now. So so we're going to start with Kyle.
Okay.
And then we'll go to Paul, and then we'll go to Lisa.
Should have been ready for
And we'll
this.
conclude with just a few things that you believe.
Okay. I know that that this community is very beneficial, and I think that it helps a lot of people who are transitioning away from the church. And I'm very grateful for everything that it's done for us and done for our family, because I didn't really have a relationship with my dad before, and now he's one of my best friends, and so I'm very grateful for everything. I don't know. Yeah.
I have a hard time knowing things anymore, but I have a lot of hope. I live my life with a lot of hope of what I hope is going to happen, and what I can sink my teeth into the love that I feel towards people.
I value my relationship with my wife more than ever, and I want to work every day to make it better. As well as her, the word no doesn't mean a lot to me anymore. And even belief. The problem I have with religion in general now is when my faith in Christian values, not values, but the Christian narrative was based upon Joseph Smith seeing what he said he saw. Now that I don't believe he saw what he said he saw, it's hard for me to even know what that means. And as I look more into the problems in the New Testament and that count out, there's issues there too. I just choose to have hope that there's something after this life. What that means, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about, but I want to treat people with kindness and love and respect and allow them to have their journeys, and hopefully they'll allow us to have our journeys. But I don't waste a lot of time, and I have zero interest in organized religion anymore. I feel so betrayed in all we put into this. And for those that it works, fantastic. But that's not where I'm going. I want to, and our family, and family means everything to us. And if this isn't our only life, then let's make it a good one.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Paul and Lisa and Kyle for sharing this epic story. We want to thank their other family members for being a part of this story, whether they knew it or not. We love you guys, and we respect all your journeys. We hope you guys have benefited from this podcast. Please go up to mormonstories.org, share your comments there. We'd love to hear from you. I'm sure Paul, Lisa, and Kyle would be willing to go up there and answer any questions you have. We want to encourage you to check out Mormon Transitions podcast. In the weeks and months and years ahead, we're going to be focusing on supporting people in their transition. And there's a lot we're doing there. So pay attention to that podcast as well. We want to thank everyone who donates to the Open Stories Foundation, to any of the podcasts mentioned: A Thoughtful Faith, Mormon Matters, Mormon Transitions, Mormon Stories. If you guys will just go up and become monthly subscribers at whatever amount you're comfortable, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can, that money goes towards allowing us as podcasters to provide this content. It also allows us to support some administrative support, some staff, technological support, all sorts of things that we need to reach more and more people and to bring them joy and health and happiness. So please support these podcasts through a monthly donation, and thanks to all of you who do. We're going to be doing more stuff with the missionary series. We have other really exciting series planned as well. So thank you so much for joining us today on Mormon Stories. Check us out again soon. Share these episodes with family and friends, because you never know how sharing a Mormon Stories episode might help another one who's struggling. And again, we'll conclude by thanking Paul, Lisa, and Kyle for sharing your story. You guys
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
have a safe ride home.
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everybody.